Peace, brothers and sisters. This is Dr. Sadiki Baye, and once again, I'd like to say thank you for blessing me to be able to come into your home to share with you what the Creator has blessed me with in honor of our ancestors. I'd like to thank you for this is the day that the Lord has made, and we must rejoice and be glad in it. No matter how things seems, everything is in divine order. But today, the subject matter is about preparation. We're going to talk a little bit about preparation. And so, what is preparation? Well, preparation is the action and the process of making ready or being ready for situations. So, when I say action, action is something that you can see. You can see the results of. And the process is something that you embrace and satisfy it. But unfortunately, we've been made to not be a process people. We are an emotional people. We feel too much. And we got to understand that feelings and emotions can deceive you. It can cause you to misread, cause you to misjudge, and it can also cause you to disrespect. But we must embrace a process that's coming from a frame of reference that's bigger than our individual selves. And so, what is that? That is honoring our glorious ancestors, the ones who we came through to be here today. Because truly, we are the ancestors having a human experience. We must understand that. But they made everything spooky that's ours. But I'm not here to change anything. I'm here to fulfill it. That is my purpose, to fulfill. All messengers, all leaders, all teachers are the ones who fulfill what's already here. That's why they say there's nothing new under the sun. And that's true. So we have to make sure that we understand the processes of life. And the first process of life is self-preservation. We must preserve ourselves. In other words, always be about balance. When you preserve yourself, you're balancing yourself. That's the first law of nature. And so all I'm saying is to be prepared. When you preserve yourself, you're making sure that you're always prepared for whatever comes about. Because too often we allow things to happen and then we go scrambling around trying to find a way to deal with it. And most of the times it's based on emotions and how we feel and not by what we know. Not by um, uh, embracing a process that will get us from A to B in a satisfactory manner. So we have to make sure that we not only know things but understand things, because there's a consequence for every choice. That's why we have the law of karma, cause and effect. Everything starts at home, and the home is of your mind. We're not talking about no building. We're talking about the home of your mind, where God resides in your mind. See, you can't see the mind, but you can see the results of the mind. The mind is housed by the brain. You can see the brain, but you can't see the mind. The mind is like a magnet. Be careful what you entertain, because it'll bring to you what is magnetized to be, or where it's at. We got to understand processes of life, family. that keep in mind that we call people friends and all this kind of stuff. You know, friend is a deep thing. Friend is someone who's like you, that's like you. We use that word too loosely, that title too loosely. Most people are associates because once you find out the true meaning of friend, you might even uh, see that you never had one. So be careful how we use these terms because it has energy in it. Now, here's an example of whether a person is a friend or not. Some people, say that they'll be there with you through thick and thin. But guess what? When things get thick, you see how they start thinning out. You'll look around, where's everybody? So action speaks louder than anything. It's almost like words are more important today than action. That's why people have this funky attitude. I don't have to prove nothing to you. You don't? Well, how can I trust that if I don't see any evidence of what you're saying? Seeing is believing. And you see the labors, you see the results of people's labor. And that's real. Don't overlook a person's position in your life. Make sure that you see evidence of it. Guard your heart and use your mind because everything is mental. So if that person is a true friend, they'll be there through thick and thin no matter what the situation is. Even if they're doing something, they'll drop what they're doing and they accommodate you. A friend in need is a friend indeed. And I'm sure you heard that before. So everything is about preparation so that when something comes to you unexpectedly, you will still have enough to keep your balance because balance is the key. We have to be intentional about balance, about preparing, about having reserve. But most people don't even have enough talking about reserve. That's why they all over the place, making excuses, bitching and complaining. See, I'm real. Some things you say, oh, Sadiki said that? Oh, yes, because I'm representing. Our ancestors didn't play. They told you like it always was. And they're just words to emphasize the seriousness of what they're saying. So don't be tricked on about the words and all of that because I said it that way. Because you might hear a whole lot of more things that you might be surprised about that you never heard from Dr. Sadiki. But I'm emphasizing a point. Sometimes you have to put some serious emphasis on what you're saying. Sometimes you have to shock people in order to get the point over. But do what you need to do. You're not here to change anything. You're here to fulfill whatever it is. That's what real people do. Now, everything is determined by what a person does, not what they say. Action is all that matters. And through action, you got to put in the work. You got to put in the energy because energy is the key. You can't fool energy. Energy recognizes itself. And also energy recognizes what is not itself. And since every face represents energy, we have to learn how to look beyond the face and get into their energy. Because everybody is defined by their energy, by their labor. Yes, let's get inside that person because everybody's always more than the eye can see. And when I say that, it reminds me of this story. I think it's a story in the Bible. And I'm going to paraphrase it, the story. It's this real beautiful apple. And the apple was all that. Every time somebody look at it, they start drooling. Man, I wish I had some of that apple. Man, I like to taste that apple. But guess what? Somebody came and they say, oh, let me cut this apple open and give you a piece of it. When they cut that apple open, it was full of worms. So everything that seems that way don't necessarily have to be that. Everything and everybody is more than the eye can see. Even the book. Don't judge the book by its cover. Open up that book and see what's up. We take each other for granted. And then we resent it later on. We regret it later on. So take your time and make sure that you know and understand what that is. Because our souls have been tampered with, and we are, in our whole essence, is throwed. So we got to get our souls back so that we can get our balance back. Because the soul contains our whole essence. And we have to get our essence in order, get that balance back. We got to go Sankofa. Go back and get it. Because we left too much behind assimilating to this system. These are the folks who hate our guts. Always have and always will. We have assimilated to this system. We have become one with it. That's why the female has to be extremely dangerous being by herself. Because she has that assimilative nature. Her emotional nature. Her caring nature. Her nurturing nature. And assimilation means what? To become one with. To become one with authority. But the average female don't look at the black man as authority. They look at him as the problem. Because of their experiences with the black man. Which slavery really messed the average black man's mind up. It's a wonder any of us can think after 500 years of torture. Literally. And still going on. But we must have that understanding and stop going against each other. That's what they want. So how do they do that? They studied us. They looked at the order of the family. That's how they created their corporation, by studying the black family. So they saw the order, the man, the woman, and the child. So they looked at it, they said, wow, okay, if I can get that one in the middle, I can get that person to control both ends. So who's in the middle? The woman. That's why they give her all the opportunities. That's why the welfare system was created, to give her a false sense of security that she don't need no man, because you couldn't have a man if you was on welfare. So now, it used to be a game originally. Hey man, you got to leave because the social worker get ready to come. Put away those appliances because you're not allowed to have any appliances. It used to be a game, but now it's real. The average female feels that she don't need no man. And if she do, she only need him for sex, like he's a gigolo. Or they need him to work him to get his money. She used her sex as a whip. And she also have a tendency to pimp her children to get those benefits. That's a cursed situation. That's why the children end up the way that most of them are today. But we have a crazy way of blaming the children. When the children are results of something, they are the effect of the cause. We got to stop blaming the children. This system deals with with effects and symptoms. They don't deal with prevention and causes. They can't make no money. They can't control you. We have to understand what we are dealing with. We have to understand what we're in. We're in this world. Be careful with what you're feeling because it can, it can throw you. Because the wise man goes by what he knows. But above that, you have to get understanding. Because most people don't understand what they know. And that's a serious problem. You have to be a deep diver to have that understanding. You have to be deep rooted to have understanding. Because understand is two words, under and stand. Once you know what's under what is standing, then you know the thing. Just like if you know the roots of a tree, you know the tree. We got to be deep once again. They used to call us root people. So we got to be root people all over again to honor our ancestors, to represent our ancestors. There is a time to dream, and there's a time to wake the hell up and to fulfill that dream. That's why it's a slap in the face every time in January, I think it is, in January, we celebrate the Honorable Dr. Martin Luther King. We still singing We Shall Overcome. That's a slap in the face. 60 years later, we still singing the same thing? And all of it is based on emotions. Now, let me share this with you also. The things that the Honorable Dr. Martin Luther King was doing when we were marching, isn't that the same as what we're doing today? Black Lives Matter? What's the difference? It's the same thing. The same thing. Black Lives Matter. But you got a lot of other folks, white folks and all them other people who put us in the condition that we're in, they marching with us. And a lot of those marches is more than them than us. Wow. All of a sudden, Black Lives Matter to them? No, what it is they scared of us. They see that we're not scared. They see that a lot of black folks killing each other, and they scared that if we killing each other, we're going to find out about them, and we're going to get them. That's why they want gun control. They got all the guns in the world. They manufacture all the guns and bullets in the world, but they said, get all the guns off the street. That means take them all from us while they have them all. Don't forget that's how they originally got us, with the gun. And the Bible, which is another kind of gun. A bazooka. A cannon. And when they finished, they came with us, they left. When they left, they had everything that we had, and they left us with the Bible, which was nothing but 100% white nationalism. When in fact, if you read the Bible, even from the beginning, they always talked about Ethiopia, they always talked about Egypt, but we skipped right over that. It's all about us. But because we were disobedient and we went against the laws, that's when all hell broke loose. It was no such thing as a religion originally. It was just life. And the religion is the very thing that divides us up more because every religion feels they got their only answer. Hey, don't associate with so-and-so. Christian, don't associate with the Muslims. Muslims don't associate with the Christians. The Hebrew Israelites don't associate with the Christians or the Muslims. You see what I mean? Family, we have to open up our eyes and see the reality of things. Guard your heart, because one thing about us, we are a deeply caring people, and that's what they play on. They get the weakest one, which is the female, because of her nature. If I can control that one in the middle, I can get her to do all my dirty work. And that's why when she see the results of her children, it bothers her. She get all kinds of problems, cancer, high blood pressure, all kinds of problems because of the resentment, the regrets, the coulda, woulda, shoulda. But we have to prevent that from happening again. If our ancestors gave us the will, then why do we have to, every generation have to continue to discover the will? Pass on the will so the next generation can start building the cart to the will. That's what it's all about. It's all about every generation should get better. Not going lateral. We should be going up. Jacob's ladder goes higher and higher. Every round goes higher and higher. But unfortunately, most of us are stuck. And we're very frustrated and angry and bitter, pointing the finger, bitching and complaining. We got to stop that. It is what it is. Yes, Dr. Sadiki is telling the truth. I'm shining the lights on everything. My light is so bright, it's like a laser. We got to start adjusting to the light instead of telling people to turn those lights out because you hurt my eyes. Let's adjust to the light. Let's not put it out. That's the purpose of the light, to see those things that you never saw before. You're exposing it. People want to stay the same. If everything that exists is moving, and if it's moving, it's changing. So why are we fighting hard to stay the same? Ain't nobody gonna tell me what to do. Oh yeah, somebody told you to say that, but you don't know that. The enemy told you to say that because you're going to fulfill their requirements. You're going to fulfill their expectations, just like in the schools. Them dumbass schools that teach you how to be a damn fool. Because all you're after is a piece of paper. Spend all your money, all your effort, all your blood and tears just to get that piece of paper to qualify you to get a job. Family, listen to what I'm saying. I'm telling you, this is some deep stuff that they got us in, going in circles, got us chasing our tail and going nowhere, or spinning our wheels and going nowhere, tired as hell and haven't gained an inch. And then we end up blaming each other. Isn't it the same thing that when I be sharing with you about the dog? The dog with rabies biting me. I got rabies. Then the dog come over and bite you. Now you got rabies. Now we have the nerve to blame each other, when in fact we should be going after that damn dog. That's some deep stuff. There's wisdom in that. God blessed us with wisdom. And above all our wisdom, get understanding. Know what's under what is standing. Then you know the structure. We got to be deep divers. We got to be deep rooted. We are root people, but we became surface people because we are too emotional. We got to put a check on our heart and start thinking more. We must be a motivation and to stimulate and encourage one another. But the black man, the black mind, because man means mind, so the black mind has to lead the way. But our people must allow the black man, the black mind to lead the way and stop blaming the man for everything. When slavery was specifically for that black mind, that black man. They're not afraid of women and children. That's why they gave them welfare. That's why they give them the jobs, opportunities. You give them a false sense of security that they don't need no black man. And then the black woman have the audacity to feel that she's the endangered species. That's why a lot of them they forget that time is moving, that when they get older, ain't nobody looking at you. They looking at them younger ones that's throwing their hips around now. See, I'm real. It is what it is. They got us going in circles. But I'm like Curtis Mayfield, keep on pushing. Some way, somehow. Move up a little higher. As a matter of fact, I know his son, Brother Kareem. He's a good brother, smart brother. Appreciate you, brother. Keep on moving. Keep on pushing. That's right. So my thing is this. We have to understand process. Process gives you order, the order of things, how to get from A to B straight. And you don't have to go around the world, the mulberry bush as we call, to get there where we're going. We go straight. The straighter it is, the quicker you can get there. I'm just being real, brothers and sisters. I know that, some of the things I'm saying shaking you up and so forth and so on, but it should. If you ain't feeling nothing, then there's no need to make an adjustment. You should feel something. Don't you go through something to go from the first grade to the second grade? But it's a requirement from the system. You understand that. But when it's time for us, then I ain't got to listen to nobody. I ain't got to prove nothing to nobody. Okay, well, then prove it to yourself. Prove it to yourself then. And everybody's going to see it anyway, because seeing is believing. And they say that all men are created equal. Are they? Are they? If man means mind, all minds are created equal. Everybody's not here for the same reason. And the real minds understand that. They can see evidence of it. It's not that they're hating. They're not going to ignore it, because the wise man can learn from anything and anybody, even if it don't be like that. Never allow a person's downfall be in vain. Let's learn from it. Take it and move higher. We need to be intentional about that. Everything should be intentional, especially when you all messed up. You've been had. Everything has to be intentional until you get a rhythm. Everything is about the rhythm, about the energy, about the vibes, about the frequency, about the spirit. It's all the same. But they spooked us up with God and Jesus and all that kind of stuff. Allah, Yahweh. It's the same thing. All of them are attributes of the same spirit. Spirit is even one. No matter what we say, that's an attribute. There's 99 attributes. And whichever one that you say is the same thing. But we are tricked up off of terms and words in these religions. All religion is man-made, but spirituality is not. So therefore, we so religious, we forgot to be spiritual. And they even tell you don't deal with this person because they're not a Christian like you are. Well, if you're a real Christian, then you will deal with them because that's your brother. That's your sister. They got many languages, but all of it should mean the same. Christianity, Judaism, Islam, Buddha, all of them means peace. So what's the problem? The problem is you allow the enemy to infiltrate your mind and throw you. Now you hating your own brother. Matter of fact, you even hating yourself because you don't like what you see in the mirror. But if we are in the image and the likeness of God, see, a lot of people say we are in the image of God, but we need to add that other part, the likeness. If you're in the image and the likeness of God, that is God. I mean, come on, let's get real. Oh no, no one can be God. Well, if I'm a child of God, that's why Jesus said, when you see me, you see the Father. For I and the Father are what? One. Not two, not three, one. And the pimps in the pulpit not going to teach you that Jesus said that if you believe as I believe, then you're my brother, and my Father in heaven is your Father. And he even said that things I do, greater things you can do. How come they don't teach us that? They keep giving us the same stories over and over again like we're retarded. Why keep telling me something that I can never be? It's a waste of time. But it's all about control. It's all about getting your money. They're capitalists themselves. And that's why they sold their souls to the system. They're not bringing us together. They're keeping us individuals, and we operating on emotions. But it's one thing that we need to understand is that mastery of self is the whole purpose of us being here. Because once you have mastered yourself, that means you have mastered your mind. And mind is God. Once you have mastered your mind, that is God. We don't have to get spooky about that. Don't never allow nobody to define you. Study to show your self-approval and lean not to your own misunderstanding, your miseducation, your misguidance, your misdirection, but rightly dividing the word of truth. So it should have some light to it. You should see evidence of it. You should always see evidence of the truth. Was this physically or mentally? Because seeing is believing. But most of us are blind. That's why we ain't seeing nothing. So let your light shine. And we have to come from a frame of reference that's bigger than our individual selves. So what is the frame of reference? Our glorious ancestors. Let's honor and represent them to the end. Don't forget we are the ancestors in the physical. Let's keep our connection with the spiritual ancestors. Anytime you need someone to call on someone, or you need some kind of assistance or whatever, call on the ancestors, because they always want the best for us. Let's intentionally do that. They say follow no man. Okay, well, follow the ancestors. Family, I love you with respect. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing. Other than that, I'll be regular. I'm not regular. And people who know me know that I'm not regular. And I pray that you can say the same thing. Because regular people feel that giving is losing. Real people know that giving is a principle. What you give is given back to you multiplied 100-fold. Thank you, brothers and sisters, for allowing me to enter into your home. I love you, I bless you, and I want you to prosper. Keep your lights on and keep them bright at all times. Next video, I'll be talking a little bit about Kwanzaa, which is something that is ours, which represents 7 principles out of the many. Has nothing to do with religion. Has something to do with what's real. So tune in next week and the weeks after. Have a blessed journey, brothers and sisters. Consider what I have shared with you and prove it to yourself. Happy new journey. Family, appreciate you. Hotep.